Now, 1 in 5 Singapore workers are thinking of changing jobs over the next 12 months. That's according to a PwC global survey of about 1,000 Singapore employees. And Gen Z employees in the 18 to 25-year-old age group are even more likely to job hop. 1 in 3 are looking to do so, and pay hikes alone won't convince them to stay. Instead, employees want greater transparency and job fulfillment. They also prefer flexible work, with 7 out of 10 workers wanting a hybrid arrangement in a post-COVID world. And to work us through the data, we're joined by 2 experts, Chris Wu from PwC Singapore and Adrian Choo from Korea's Agility. Well, Chris and Adrian, thanks for joining us. Chris, let's go to you first. What do Singapore employees want?
Thank you for having me this evening, Elizabeth. I think Singapore employees, like many employees around the world, as a result of COVID-19 and obviously the changes around the world relating to digital economy and many changes relating to the broader commercial structure, are looking for a lot more fulfillment and wholeness in terms of their career. It's not just about the salaries, it's looking at the total rewards program. They are looking for better opportunities arising from an employer being able to provide training, an employer looking after their well-being, an employer who does look to help them be skilled for the future and to address changes around the world, especially around the digital economy.
Well, Chris, you know, the PwC survey says 1 in 5 are ready to job hop in Singapore. How does this compare to global trends?
I think it's pretty much aligned with global trends. Unfortunately, I think Singapore does track very closely to what's happening around the world. And certainly Singapore employees are an attractive bunch in terms of what the global economy is looking for in the various skills, whether or not it be in law, accounting, technology. I think all this is, make our Singapore employees very attractive. And so therefore, it's natural. If they're being sought after by many various employers, it's up to us as employers to try and retain them and keep our workplace attractive, as we are trying to do in PwC.
Well, Adrian, let's go to you next. The survey says that the younger lot of Gen Zs in the 18 to 25-year category are even more keen to change jobs. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, we do observe that as well on the ground. Many of these Gen Zers feel that they have missed out on 2 years of their career because of the pandemic, and many are feeling pretty hungry to go out to experience more. So they can be a bit more adventurous because moreover at this age, they don't really have that many financial commitments. So they can move on to roles that could be a bit riskier even, like joining startups. And they may not move just for the salary alone. They would be moving for other things like job fulfillment, just to gather the experience, or even to travel. So that's why we are seeing a phenomenon of these Gen Zers deciding to move more aggressively rather than the Gen Xs or the Gen Ys.
Yeah, and then Adrian, what does this then mean for employers?
Well, I think what this shows is that it's not just simply going to be an issue of salary and pay as the ultimate retention strategy for their staff. In the old days when salary differentials were not very high in the new job, salaries were not a major thing. But now we are even seeing on the ground companies that are very aggressive in hiring new talents. They're offering as high as 25% to 30% salary increments for roles that are in demand but are scarce. So with such high numbers, it's rather difficult for for employees to say no to making a job move. So, and we've also seen companies like Microsoft who recently announced that they were increasing their payroll budgets by up to 50%. So there is a lot more aggressive hiring going on, especially in areas where the demand is high. And we're going to see smaller SMEs, smaller companies who don't really have the Microsoft-sized wallets. They may not be able to retain the talent that easily.
Well, to both gentlemen, a good majority want to have hybrid work arrangements. Do you think Singapore employers can make that work? Perhaps, Chris, let's go to you first.
I think, Elizabeth, hybrid working arrangements are here to stay. COVID-19 has proven that it is possible to maintain productivity or even increase productivity with hybrid arrangements. And I think people are also not wanting to commute as much as they would have liked to in the past. So hybrid arrangements are here to stay. It's then a question of how can you make sure that they are sustainable. I'd like to come back to obviously what we were talking about in terms of providing a holistic employment environment. It's also, like I said, it's about training, it's providing that well-being environment, but it's really trying to make sure that you're ready and equipped for the future. So I think when coming back to the hybrid side, if you can also train your staff in terms of looking at being fully digitized in terms of how you execute your work, how you can then prepare for certain skills in looking at certain digital tools going forward, it's going to make things attractive all around for everybody.
And Adrian, do you think Singapore employers can make this work?
Well, I think they can and they have to, because employees in Singapore are asking, in fact, they're not asking, they're demanding for it right now. So employers need to learn how to shift the mindsets and realize that it could be a strategic differentiator in terms of talent attraction. If they're offering a more liberal work from home type of policy, we are seeing companies that are even offering 100% work from home environment if you want to. So, and if you look at it, this is a way where you can attract talent and retain talent, especially if your competitors cannot match that. And if you look at it, the working from home and hybrid ways of working is the future way of moving forward for all environments. So I would say that it's pretty unavoidable. So companies might as well get on the bandwagon sooner rather than later.
Well, thank you both for joining us this evening. We've been speaking to Chris Wu from PwC and Adrian Choo from Career Agility.